Hello again everyone and welcome to the Services Module tutorial. The Services Module is what contains your menu, as if you are sitting at a restaurant, to our services. This is where you can come and become educating yourself. Of course, in the video library we have our services tutorial videos, but the services documentation in terms of the outline to all of the packages is available from the Services Module only. Now, when you come into the Services Module, one of the first things that you'll notice is that there's different service categories that we have. We have our SEO, the search engine optimization packages, from our basic and advanced level packages. Then we also have our LBLO packages, our local business listing optimization. To view the next service category of packages, you just click on the icon and it will highlight accordingly for you. We have our SEO plus LBLO packages, which is a hybrid between the SEO and the LBLO put together, and so on and so forth for PPC, ORM, web design, and social media. You select the particular package category that you want to view, and then what you want to do, if you want to learn about the package details, for instance, let's say that I go to web design, you want to click on the View Package Details button. So if I click on Web Design Package Details, it's going to give me an option to view this online or download the file. I recommend downloading the file because if you view it online, you're not able to see the comment pop-out boxes. Once the package details are downloaded and you open them up, it'll look something like this. Now these are the web design package details, and at the bottom of the tabs you're going to want to look for the different packages. So these are all of the packages for the WordPress theme-based web design services, and you can go through and see the comment pop-out boxes for every single line item. And this is really where a lot of the learning comes from, is just sitting here and getting through the package and looking at exactly what's offered. The packages are structured, well, for web design it's not an ongoing monthly, so this is just a one-time service. I'll show you how package details are structured in other services, but you can see that the package or the comment pop-out boxes are really what you're going to be wanting to be paying attention to. So this is the theme-based design services, and then if I wanted the custom WordPress design services, I'd click the tab at the bottom and this would give me the custom packages. If I wanted to see the mobile responsive theme packages, I would click on that tab and I'd be able to go through and see everything that's involved in it. And then if I'm looking for the custom mobile responsive, so on and so forth. So whenever you come into the dashboard and you view packages and you see this overview here and you're saying to yourself, oh geez, you're telling me a WordPress 40 theme based and I have no idea what that means. Well, you need to download the package details and check that out and look into it. On the SEO or LBLO, even PPC and social media, those all have options for the ongoing monthly, and so the package details are broken into month one versus ongoing monthly. So in short, because we have a different video series that goes over every single service category. For instance, on the web design, there's a quick reference video right here that goes through the web design package details thoroughly. And if I click on the social media, you'll see the video icon here changed because that's the social media video overview of all of the services. So for your services education, make sure that you reference the package details on download as well as watch the video tutorial to learn the services. This video tutorial is just to show you how to use the services module. So to use it as a menu, you come in and simply watch the videos or view the packages. You can see your pricing. There's not pricing on this one because it's just a demo account. And furthermore, you can also keep this in mind. When you download the package details, if you weren't wanting to submit a proposal request, but you want to just take the package details to your client, for instance on the SEO package details, and I just selected to view these online instead of downloading for quick reference for you. But for instance, on the basic SEO services, so let's say I went into here and I was looking at the SEO and there's basic SEO services, and I said to myself, well, you know, I wish I could just, send work details out to my client without having to submit a proposal request, because I just, I'm sending initial emails, they're not really a lead yet, I just want to give them maybe a bullet point overview of what I can do. You can come in here and download download the package details and just show them what services you have available, or delete whatever programs you don't want to be showing them if you want to, and that's really up to you. Now, you're not allowed to publish our packages on your website, like in the exact line items that they are, because they'd be searchable and tracking back, and we don't want a bunch of people publishing the exact same packages. But if you want to modify them a little bit and publish them on your site, we don't mind. But really, to publish packages on your site, I don't see the reasoning in that so much, because you're going to be giving consultations to all of your clients for the most part. So once you're in here and you've been able to learn the services, go through the services tutorial videos, look at the package details, and you understand our services well, when you're ready to request services, all you do is select what services you're wanting. So for instance, if you're interested in a 5 SEO basic plan and you're also interested in a web design plan, you would just go over and select it. So you see that there's a 5 SEO basic, and then you'll see that there's a WordPress 5 theme based. So after you select those two, maybe even if you want a social media, you can come in and select that. And it's almost like putting it in a shopping cart, only you're not going to have to check out. This is to submit a proposal request to us, so that's logged in the system in the proposal tracker, so that we can do research and give you correspondence on any consulting you may need. Because as you can assume, sometimes SEO packages, you need some modifications done to the proposal. Sometimes on social media, you have some consulting questions. And especially on web design, sometimes you're needing a consultant to look at your proposal request, and we're wanting some intake information, and I'll show you what that looks like here in just a second. Before you move on with the proposal request, you have to insert in a domain name. So let's just say, for instance, that I use a domain name. This is myfirstproposalrequest.com, and let's say that I go ahead and hit the next button, which is down here at the bottom. You're going to hit next. When you hit next, it's going to bring you to the next screen, which is your intake form. Now, do note that on the intake form, this information is so that we can provide you consulting if we need to, which is important for us, because when you call in and ask us questions about things, we then have information to consult on. Also, if you request anything that is SEO or keyword related, SEO or an LBLO package, we run keyword research for you, but we also run some automated reporting for you as well, and we need that some of this information to be able to run some of those reports. Now, again, when you're in here, you only have to fill out the required information. The address is so we can run some of the automated reports. If you don't have it, you can just enter in something that says, I don't have it. For the keyword research that we're going to do, you'll notice that we do ask some questions, such as the primary product or services, the target area, a little bit about your keywords. Again, you don't have to enter much about that. For the social media, we just want to know if they have existing social media accounts and what keywords they have. If you don't know, you don't have to fill it out. For web design, we need to know if they're needing logo design, if it's membership or mobile or e-commerce or blog. And then you can go ahead and hit next. If you're not sure what package you want, you're looking for something custom, then of course we're going to want to know a little bit about the budget. So there's not a lot of required information on the form, so no need to get overwhelmed. It is a longer form, but for those people that really utilize our consultants, that's why we have all those fields there, because some people expect that level of consulting from us when they come in and ask questions, so we ask the information in the beginning. One, that's why there's all these fields on the form. Two, you're typically going to have an intake meeting with your client. Marketing and design typically isn't the type of thing where you just walk up to a client and say, okay, I have this package for you, let's do this. Usually you want to ask them quite a few questions. There's typically an intake, or getting to know you and telling you about what I do type of a thing. So whenever you are able to identify what service categories you want to offer to your client. For instance, they're interested in SEO or maybe local business listing optimization as well. They're needing web design, and you select that. It will dynamically read what you're wanting in the system, and it pulls this form together. So that's handy, number one. Number two, we give you a public link. notice that on this public link there's a domain name that you're not used to seeing here called Twitter Reseller. That's because the system is domain masked. Like you've seen in the setting up this your dashboard tutorials, you can domain mask the system, which means to put the dashboard on your website domain. And when you do that, your domain masked URL goes in here, so that if you wanted to give this public link to your client, you could do that if you wanted to. So for instance, I'll put the public link in over here to show you what it looks like, and whenever it loads, it comes from your domain, and it's just the form. It's outside of the dashboard. You don't have to log in. You can email the link to the client if you wanted to, or you could sit there in front of the client if you didn't want to be inside the dashboard and bring this up and go over this with them. If you sent this public link to the client to fill out, they could fill it out and submit the form, and it would email you and let you know that it's been completed. So if you wanted to do this for your intake meetings or give your client homework before they meet with you, you could actually come in, select the services that you're wanting to offer to them, take this link, send it to your client, and say, okay, so I've met, or I emailed you, or I gave you a cold call, and I tell you what, I'm going to give you a consultation because, of course, I'm a very expensive consultant, because you know good business consulting as well as great marketing consulting, and you want to make the most of their time during their consultation with you, and you would like some preliminary information before you sit down and speak with them. And you could send them this link just to get your intake meeting rolling in the really right direction, which means if you wanted, they would go through and fill out all of this information, or just what's there, to the best of their ability, and they might even put in budget information for you. Why not hit on the subject matter before you get involved in a deep conversation on all the different services if they can't afford it? So this intake form serves as two things. One, as a way for you to let us know things that we can consult with you on, because if we don't know anything about the project, we can't consult with you too. It gives us the information that we need to do our research and run our reporting for you, which helps you to sell. And, well, I guess I'm now on number 3. Also, it is there to guide you with intaking relevant information that you need to intake from the client. And that's important, such as asking them things like if they previously had work done. A lot of people come to me and they say, Paul, I don't know what I'm supposed to be asking my client during an intake meeting. Do you guys have a form of some sort? And I say, yes, absolutely. It's that intake form you fill out all the time when you submit a proposal request. That's what that's for. So this is part of the services module. Now, let's say that I came in and I completed this form, not off the public link, but let's say that I came in and I completed the form from inside of the dashboard, as so, and I came in and I hit next. When I'm inside the dashboard and I complete the form and I hit next, it's going to ask me, who else do I want to include on this proposal project? And why is it saying that? The reason why it's saying that is because you have member level users in your company. Maybe you don't. If you added member level users and set a permission that said that your member level users can only see their own proposal projects, I could be coming in as a manager and wanting for, maybe Alan and Dennis are my member level users, and I could be wanting them to be able to see my proposal project. So the way the permission works on that, if you have member level users and you put a restriction saying they can only see ones that they are included on, that's what this means. They can see proposal projects that they have requested themselves, but they could only see yours if you included them as secondary points of contact. Then again, you might have put a permission saying that member level users can see all proposal projects. So that's why this screen exists. If off of the public link intake form, you sent the public link on the intake form to a client and they filled it out and submitted it, it would skip this step, and when I hit next it would also skip this step, and it would automatically submit your proposal project for you. So let me say that one more time. On the public form here, I was showing you this off of the public link. If on the intake form you take the public link and you fill it out on the public link, it will submit the proposal request directly into our proposal tracker. If you fill it out from inside the system, you can also select the people that are involved in the project and have this overview before you submit it. If if you fill out the form on the public link and hit submit at the bottom, it skips the last 2 steps and goes ahead and submits it into the system. And why does it do that? Well, when you're inside of the system and you fill out the intake form, and then you hit next and you select your people, which is a great option to have, and then you hit next and you have your handy little overview with the if it requires keyword research option, and you hit submit. That's when it submits the project into the proposal tracker, and that's when officially our consultants would either run the free reporting that we run for you, or start on the research, or be able to consult on it and follow up with you and give you some pointers. But if you send this public link to your client to fill out, whenever they fill it out and it completes the intake form, if it doesn't automatically submit the proposal request in the proposal tracker, and let's say the email when they filled it out hit your spam box, it would never hit the proposal tracker. You'd have to come back in and manually check it. So that's the reason why if you fill out the intake form off of the public link, it automatically submits it as a proposal project, whereas if you're inside the system, you have 2 more steps as optional steps. So if you fill out the public link and hit submit, what happens to this step? Well, on this step, what it does is it just takes the user that submitted the proposal request and just puts it to that user only, and it just assumes that on this step everything is golden, and it's like hitting this submit button. So once I submit the proposal project, I can then come into my interface. And it was actually telling me I had an error there because I submitted it on the intake form and internally, which normally you're not even able to do that. But this is my first proposal request. As you'll see that the proposal requests are split up by service category, and that's when I can get into them. So it's the services, you fill out the services and submit proposal request, and then it dumps it into the proposal tracker. I'm going to leave the in-depth overview on this to the next tutorial video that goes over the proposal tracker in depth. So that's the next video tutorial. So a little bit back and forth, but back to the services, there's a couple of things. Let's say that you did quite a few proposal requests and you set maybe the intake form link out to several clients, and when they fill that out, it should prompt you with an email. What if you don't get the email? How do you see the status on if a client ever filled out an intake form or not? Which I recommend that most people fill out their own intake forms, but if you're going to send the public link on the intake form to clients to fill out, it is good for preliminary information, but a lot of times it confuses them. You see this pending proposal request link? Let me go ahead and click on this and show you what this is. Now, this tells you more than just what's on the pending proposal request table for you, but this is built to allow you to track your pending proposal requests. So let me show you how this works. And some of these are old, so they don't have the intake date, but it has the domain name of the proposal request, right? And then what it also has is it has the, let me go ahead and show all on this. It has the intake date. So for instance, I just put through, this is my first proposal request.com, and this is the date at which I initially requested it. The proposal request status is as submitted because I went through those steps and submitted it. So to submit a proposal request, there's 2 ways. You go through services inside the dashboard, you complete the intake form inside the dashboard, you hit next, you select your people inside the dashboard, you hit next, you have your overview, you check it out, everything looks fine, and you hit submit, and that will submit it. If you use the public link on the intake form and completed the intake form off the public link and hit submit, that will submit the project as well. So you can come into here and say, okay, well this one has been submitted already and my intake form was complete. So this is handy, and this was built just in case you're out there sending the public link on the intake form out to several clients to see if they have completed it preliminarily. And if you're not sure if they've completed their intake form or not because the email hit your spam box, you can come in here and track it. And that's the purpose of this. And we understand that there might be other people in your company that want to check on other things, and not everyone was included or whatever. So you can track when something was completed on an intake form. And it does show you additional information that doesn't really have to do with pending proposal requests, such as the proposal launch status. This is if it's closed or not, and then the launch form status. We'll get into that later, but of course there's also a public link on the launch form. This allows you to track that. So a handy little tracking interface. A lot of people don't use this, they don't utilize it, and I mean really my biggest secret of all off of the services and this pending proposal request thing is that people don't utilize those intake forms to send out to their client for preliminary intake information before you even meet with them. If you sent someone an email and they were a cold lead and you set up a meeting with them in 3 days because they responded and were willing to meet with you, boom, I'd hit them immediately with an email and saying, I'm looking forward to the meeting so that I can give you as much information as I can and expedite this. Here's this link to an intake form that I have set up specifically for your needs. If you have the time to complete it, I would really appreciate that. If not, we can go over this in person. I'd be utilizing it a lot for that. One more thing on the services that I want to show you, and something I skipped over. When you're selecting services, you might come in, and most oftentimes this happens with web design. You might come in and your client's asking you for graphic design, they're asking for you to do some cartoon work for them, they're asking you for some 3D graphical animation on some stuff that is just, you have no idea what they're talking about. Maybe even on the marketing side, they're asking you for some Facebook pay-per-click and you don't see a package on it, you're not sure. If you're in one of those things that's I don't know if we can do this or not, go ahead and come in and submit a proposal request for it so we have the preliminary information before you talk to a consultant, or heck, maybe just hit the live support and call us, right? Now, in order to do that, go to the service category and select this box. Requires consulting to determine custom package or proposal, and that's for web design. And if on the PPC they asked you for some Facebook pay-per-click and we don't have a package for it, but you know that we might offer it because we don't do a package for everything under the sun. We do a lot of custom stuff. Hit the pretty much requires consulting to determine custom package. That's what that's there for. And I think a lot of people really don't utilize that because it's a feature that's really nice to use, and it just shows you we go out of our way to do custom services for you, and not everything is always going to be in a package format. We might need to customize something. Now, you see this View Retail Pricing button? That's only there for managers. If you set up retail pricing in your system and you hit View Retail Pricing, this is a quick peek to the retail pricing that you've just documented, which has nothing to do with us really. But if you want to document your retail pricing in the system or set it as standard for your salesman, and you're in here and you're looking at your wholesale pricing and you're thinking to yourself in the back of my head, gee whiz, it'd be nice if I could just see my retail pricing right there in front of me. Well, that's where this button came from, because enough people said that, and we did it. Now, if you want to have a quick button to set your member level pricing, that's right here. You click Set Member Level Pricing, and that's setting retail pricing. Once that's set, when you hit this, it'll show you what you're looking for, and we're in the process of upgrading that so you can set retail pricing per package. So, this is your in-depth overview to the services module. Remember, this is where you come to view the packages, watch your video tutorials per the services, because this video tutorial is just to show you how to use this module, and the services module specifically includes services training, downloadable or viewable online package details. It contains your pricing. It contains the ability to request the services. This is where you go to request services or even request custom services. This is where you go if you want to do a quick peek on your retail pricing. And this is also where you go to enter in the service category or packages and hit next to get that dynamically generated intake form. And once again, the intake form is dynamically generated. That's what's so cool about it. Not only is it dynamically generated, but it dynamically generates the headers, the order in which we ask the questions. If you go in and select XYZ social media services, let me just give you an example on this, because actually most people have no idea what it took to build this form system. If I select a Facebook package, and I select a Twitter package, and a YouTube package, and a Pinterest package, and I select an ORM campaign, a web design campaign, a PPC campaign, an SEO campaign, it's going to take the questions that we want to know on all of that, it's going to slam it all through the system, figure out the order of all the questions, put them all under the appropriate headers, make the form look beautiful, and spit it out to you. You can't do that with Word attachments. This is a very nice system. So why not use it, put in what you're looking for your client, hit hit the next button down here, take that public link, and you have your preliminary intake meeting set for your client, and send them the link ahead of time and tell them don't be overwhelmed, just fill out what you can. It's fine. And they'll fill out what they can, and then you can take it from there. Now, I do want to point out one last thing. On the intake form inside of the system, you have a save button that I forgot to show you. So if you wanted to come in here and even pre-fill some of this information for your client before you sent them over the intake form, let me show you this real quick. This is the intake form off the public link. Okay, you know that because you don't see any dashboard on the side. This is the intake form inside the system. If I wanted to go in here and be nice for the client and say, this is my client's name and their basic information for them and maybe a little bit more, and you left the questions for them empty that you wanted them to answer, you can hit save. And that way when your client goes in on the intake form, they don't feel like you've been really lazy because you wouldn't even fill out their basic information for them. And they're kind of impressed. They go in and they see that this already not only has their domain, but some of their basic information, and the left that's remaining is what you want to know for them. You could even come in here and make notes for them ahead of time from within your system. Let's say that you went in and said, oh, this is my thoughts on this, and BPC, this is what I think for you. And on the SEO, let's see here, if I go down, well, SEO's on here, web design, redesign, or new website, I think you need a redesign, excuse the typo there, but you get the point. You can make notes in here for your client ahead of time, so when they come into the intake form, two things. Yeah, you're asking them for some information, but you also left them some notes. If I was a client, you said one thing, I said, hey, I need to gather some information from you. I've left some notes in here, blah, 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 blah. And so you could read my notes in there, and I also need to get some additional information from you on all the fields that I left empty. Why not? Or you could even come in here and say, not applicable. If you want to, that's fine. It doesn't look that bad. And then you could hit save, and then check this out. This public link is not submitted, but it displays your information and your notes to them. And I think that a lot of people do not utilize this or understand how to utilize this, and that's a big deal. So this is the services category, and I'm now ready to wrap off and sign off on this one. So hopefully you find the services module nice to use and presents its information in a nice fashion. You're able to get in here, learn the services, and really utilize this module. And make sure to watch the next tutorial video on the proposal tracker, because that's where all the communication and reporting happens, and it's where you can download your proposal and all that good stuff.